first, you think, hey, I can come back and go to school and how about this football team?
Well, when I first heard about the program, it interested me because I did make a promise to my mother that I would finish my degree. As you know, I left early, and so it was important to me that I come back and do that first and foremost to fulfill the promise I made to my mother and get my degree, and then to have the opportunity to be able to work with the football team was the icing on the cake. To be able to come back, give to these young men, and help them, better understand what's expected of them. Not only to be a athlete, but to be a student athlete.
Coming back to Clemson, the past you have here in your NFL career, what's the first thing you tell the running backs? Your first piece of advice when you saw them on the practice field the first time?
First piece of advice was school first. The NFL will be there. The NFL wants you, but they don't need you. So don't get caught up in the idea that this is why I'm here, to go to the NFL, because there are only a few jobs. I tell each and every one of them that they had a team that played last year without you, so don't think that they've got to have you.
During the years that you were gone, or decades, I guess, it's been close contact, or how did that go with how much you sort of came back?
Well, I came back when I could. As you know, once you leave school, you start a different career. So, I had other obligations that I had to deal with, and it was good to be able to come back and still see a lot of the faces here that was here when I was here, and keep contact with those guys, and just come back and enjoy, and be appreciative of what the changes that has been made for the better.
Talk about how much the offenses have changed in college football since the era when you played, and how have you used that to influence your coaching style?
Well, the offense have changed tremendously. Now we throw the ball every other play, whereas when I was here, we ran it almost every play. So, it's a big difference. I think the game is not as physical as it was, and I think that's something that we have to get back to, because if you notice, the teams that win in the end are the guys who can come out and take a physical toll on other people and get your job done.
You were more polished as a running back when you got here than, say, Wayne Gall. But how has he impressed you with how quick he's picked everything up?
He's very impressive. He really pays attention to what he's been told, and he tries to do the things that we ask him to do. I've definitely seen a big growth in him between last year and this year, but it just goes to show just how hard the young man works. He's not. He asks you a question and he expects an answer. He's not easily going to give up just because you tell him something. He wants to know why, and I do the best I can to help him out. And Coach Elliott has done a tremendous job with that whole group back there.
Zach Brooks has faced some injury issues. You were known for coming back both ACLs. I think maybe the only NFL running back to play after Darren. What kind of advice can you give him?
Well, you can't go out and play based on the fact that I'm going to get hurt. That's part of the game. Those things happen. Who's to say that he could come back out and play for another 10 years and never have another injury? So you can't let those things deter you from what you really want. And we know Zach wants to be on the field, and he's working hard, and he's came back from a few injuries that he had during camp, and he's looking good now. So we expect to see Zach get out there.
Had you run down the hill back? Have you done that since you came back?
Yes, and I was the last person to come down the hill because with my bad knees, I'm too slow to try to get in the middle of the pack and get run over.
What was that like, though, for you kind of reliving that again, 25 years later?
Well, we've had the reunion teams to come back and go down the hill. So, I've done it before, and it was good. It was good to be able to come down the hill with the team again and be on the sideline in the capacity that I am.
With your history with the ACL tears, you can tell a guy like Adam Choice right now what he's going through, trying to get himself back 100%, more confidence in his leg.
Well, I went straight to Adam when I found out, that they were going to redshirt him this year, and sat down and talked to him. I said, this will be a great opportunity for you to grow as a football player and to grow as a young man. I said, I know you came in your first year and played, and you expected to play again this year, but look at it as an opportunity for you to give that knee a chance to heal up and to come back at full strength. And I mean, he's looking better and better every day. He's starting to see now that the time off that he'll have this year will help him tremendously. He gets an opportunity to go in and rehab to get it stronger and stronger. And I told him just take advantage of it, because this is a kid who has skills to be at the other level. And, you know, there's no need in him rushing it to come back out and risk getting injured early. And I'm so appreciative for the coaching staff here for seeing that in him and taking the time to put him in the best situation for him.
What's the difference in you coaching as opposed to being a player?
I don't have any control of what goes on out there on the field. You know, I'll see things and I have to understand and realize that they don't see things the way I see them, and that some of the things that I could do, they can't. So it's hard for me to sometimes dial it down and understand that he has to grow to get to where I was. And for me to remember that once upon a time, I was that guy who couldn't make that cut, who didn't see that read. And so now I just try to, to give them little things that help them pick it up earlier.
As a guy who came out early, how would you advise someone who's trying to make that decision, and when you're kind of weighing what the prospects are and what the injury situations are? How do you help someone?
Well, the biggest thing is you've got to know who you are, what your circumstances are. You know, some guys who come out early, we just hear about them coming out early, but we don't really understand why. Some guys come out because they flunked out. You know, they wasn't going to be eligible anyway, so you have to. Then you have guys who come out because financial reasons they need to help support their families. We go to college to find out what we want to do in life, to get a profession. Well, the NFL is a profession. So I don't take it, I don't hold it against the kids who come out early, because, I mean, that is a job. Now, how many times can we come out and make that type of money, straight when you get your degree and go into a regular job? It's hard to do that. So you can't take that opportunity from a guy, because the next play that you play could be the one that you never play again. So just know when you come out that you are going to be one of those guys who get that opportunity. Some guys come out and don't get that opportunity and sign with agents and lose the ability to be able to come back. So just be smart.
You may be the best ninth round draft bargain in history, you think?
You know what? I played with a guy in Minnesota that was a free agent that same year, John Randall. He's a Hall of Famer now. So that kind of put a damper on that. Oh yeah. I would say that. Yeah.
Are you still the only running back to come back from 2 torn ACLs and have a 1,000-yard season after having?
I think so, but I was definitely the first. But surgeries come so far now. I mean, they do them every day, pretty much now. At one point in time, that was career ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said your mom was kind of the inspiration for you coming back to school.
Yeah.
She's around, assuming still?
Yeah, she's still around, and she's healthy. I'm not doing this in any rush, because she may not be here. But that was a promise I made, and I've kept every promise that I made to her.
She's giving you a lot of positive feedback, I'm guessing, right now.
Oh, she's very, very, very proud. Not only of the fact that she knows I'm back in school, but she get to see me with the orange on again. Yeah, we all bleed it there.
What degree are you pursuing?
Management. Yes, sir.
Is that what you were studying before?
It is.
Yeah. And how's your progression? How close are you?
Well, again, I left early, so I've got a year and a half left now. So we going at it pretty good. But after being out of school for 25 years, it's definitely different.
Yeah, I was going to ask how hard that was to go back to class and listen to teachers.
Actually, it's easier now because I'm more focused on what I'm doing. I'm not worried about who's doing what outside the classroom now, because I've come in, I've been here, I've been out in the real world. I understand what all is out there, and this is something that I chose to do, and so makes it a little easier.
Do your classmates know who you are?
No, until I have to get up and tell people who I am in the class. That no, these kids weren't even born when I was playing. So none. No, I haven't had anyone to do that.
It might have been humbling to be around these kids, the players, same situation.
It is very humbling to be around these kids, because I found out after coming back just how much I did not know about football at that age, or just saw just how talented these guys are, as opposed to how much talent I had. These kids are far more talented than I ever was, and I tell them all the time, so that if you take your talent along with work ethic, you can get wherever you want to be, because there's so much talent here.
Do you see a lot of similarities from those days when you were a player here to what Coach Sweeney's done now and where he's got the program now?
No, it's night and day, but the thing is both programs won, and that's the similarity. We were a very, very physical and disciplined team. Coach Sweeney has the discipline, but Coach Ford created men, and Dabo Sweeney creates whole men. He creates that kid who's out in the community working. Coach Ford expected us to do the right things. Dabo makes sure that these kids are doing the right thing. He's got people lined up in front of them to give them direction. There's nothing that these kids, there's nothing they lack. If these kids don't get it while they're here, they work in order not to do it, because it is so easy to get it done while you're here.
Now that you've been around it for a couple of months now, is there one or two players that you look at and go, man, that cat's pretty special?
We've got a lot of special guys on this team, a lot. You just take, for instance, the other night, Thursday night, when you look at Kirsch and he's running the guy down on a kickoff return. Everybody didn't do that. He separated himself from a lot of his teammates, in just that one instance. To see him give that type of effort for a guy who's pretty much gone, and he runs the kid down another 2 yards, we're out there lining up to play defense. Wayne Gallman is another one. C.J. Fuller, one of the young running backs. If we can just get him to hold on to the ball, this kid has an opportunity to be special. Obviously, you can't say enough about our quarterback. This kid is just totally amazing, the things that he can do. I've played with quarterbacks in the NFL that didn't have his talent.
Tony Elliott, a little bit younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
What's that dynamic like working with him? What's your relationship with him?
Great relationship. I'm probably learning more from him than he is from me. Obviously I played the position, so there's some things about being a running back that I have that he don't. But Tony is so smart. He's a student of the position itself, and he goes out and. I have not came in and changed up anything that he's told these guys, because he's telling them all the right things. Now there's as I said, by playing the position, there's certain things that I understand about the mentality of that position that's different from the mentality of a receiver that I can relate to those guys in conversation. But Tony's doing an outstanding job.
What are the biggest differences you noticed between being a player when you were and being a player now?
Well, being a player when I was here, we didn't have all the things that they have now. Yes, we had the great training table. We didn't have masseuse come in and give us a massage. We didn't have indoor facilities. When it rained, we were out in it. And all those things are great. They deserve everything that they get because they go out and they put the work in, and they are winning. So I'm just happy to see that this program has came as far as it has.
How much more structured are things now?
I would say it's a lot more structured. We had structure, but we were a different breed. The kids today, they're not like us. We would rather be outside running around playing football. These guys would rather be inside playing video games. So you got all the stuff that keeps them inside. You keep those guys from being outside where a lot of the trouble is. And the structure itself, we've always got something for them to be doing to keep them from having a lot of the idle time. It's not so much of football-related stuff that we have them doing, but it's stuff that they need to be working on outside of when we have them to work on their craft, to make sure that they're getting their education taken care of, all the different factors that we have in place there.
And what would it be like back in the 80s when you played, if you guys had social networking and Facebook and Snapchat and all this stuff? What would you think the result would have been back then?
We probably would have had a team that would have been suspended. Because as you know, a lot of things now it gets blown out way out of proportion because of all the social media and everybody chimes in. And one thing, it starts out small, ends up big. Without that, I mean, things that were small when I played stayed small. So, I mean, it just the media attention that the guys get now, you can't go and do anything without it being seen. And we let those guys know that.
What have you done to occupy your time from retirement till now?
From retirement from football, well, I had my own trucking company, and I did that for years. And I spent a little time back in my high school helping those guys, and just doing football camps and speaking, just doing all the little things to give back to the communities.
What's the uniqueness about is it unique being the oldest student coach in Clemson program history?
Keith Jennings is older than I am. Second oldest, but it's great. I mean, it really is just to have the opportunity to be able to come back and again work with these young men, to see those guys, and they feed into everything that we say. I mean, they really do. They understand that we've been where they're trying to go. In some cases, we have guys who didn't go to the NFL, but they have life experience that they can teach these young men. And I think it's just truly a blessing for these guys to be able to get that.
What are your aspirations for after you graduate?
Well, first and foremost is to get my degree. And, after being around the kids, I definitely want to be able to continue coaching, at some level, to be able to give back, because, it's so fulfilling for me to be able to go out and speak something into these young men, and then to see it come true. I really enjoy that. Just to know that, a lot of times we look at our lives as professional athletes, and we take it for granted just because we're doing it, and we don't understand how we impact those who want to do what we're doing. And now I see, wholeheartedly the impact that I can make on people, these young athletes, and I want to be able to get them to understand that, yes, you want to play professional football, but that shouldn't be your only goal. That shouldn't be your only goal in life.
How heavy is your course load this fall?
Man, I'm taking 15 hours. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, we just squeeze this in between classes. The only other difference probably, Terry, between then and now is there's a 20-hour rule now. Coach Ford had a 40-hour.
Oh, yeah, we definitely had a 40-hour. We definitely had a 40-hour.
Practices went a little longer.
Yeah.
Everybody all set? One other note.